Well, hello, Grapevine Mustangs, and welcome to Harvest Hall for the final Coach DeBesse show of the season. How's everybody doing tonight? We are excited you were here. It was already a big show whenever we were starting, just because it was the end of the year. We were going to celebrate Team 105, and this guy next to me just decides to drop a bombshell of news on everybody. So we're going to let him talk about that. We're also going to celebrate Team 105. We'll have some seniors and a special guest that'll be here as well. But without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Coach DeBesse. And before we dive into Colleyville Heritage, why don't you talk about the story that came out and the decision that you made?
Well, it was Janet and my decision. It was not just my decision, and it was nothing that we came into the year even thinking about by any stretch of the imagination. Had nothing to do with the year that we had. As I've said many times today, you know, after doing this for 42 years, there's not a whole lot that gets to you. And as tough as this year was, it had nothing to do with that. We just had our 7th grandchild last week. About halfway through the season, our 5-year-old grandson, our oldest grandchild, he was playing soccer and flag football at the time. And Janet would go over on Saturday mornings to watch him. And, of course, we're up there Saturday mornings working. And I saw him about halfway through the season. He said, "Poppy, how come you never come see me play?" And it went straight to my heart, you know, hit me right between the eyes and straight to my heart. And as I told the kids this morning, as coaches, we're guilty, and I'm not proud of this, but we're guilty of not spending as much time with our own children as they're growing up as we should as parents. We spend more time with other people's kids than we do our own. And I didn't want to make that same mistake with our grandkids, or our kids for that matter, who are all in their 30s right now, you know. And so it was strictly a family decision that kind of evolved over time as the season wore on. And, you know, when Janet and I walked off the field Friday night, we both kind of knew, and then we talked about it this weekend and kind of made a decision. And so it's a bittersweet day, but man, am I thankful. I mean, 42 years of doing what I always wanted to do.
That deserves a hand for 42 years. Let's give Coach DeBesse a hand.
Never, ever have I felt like I've gone to work a day in my life, and not a lot of people can say that. And to finish at Grapevine, to finish as a Texas high school coach, and to finish as a Texas high school head coach is beyond anything that I ever imagined. I didn't think I'd ever get a chance to be a Texas high school coach. And like I said, to be a head coach is really and truly the greatest honor of my career, of my professional career, without question.
Well, I wanted to, we can give another hand for that. I wanted to ask you more about that because in the article that I saw in the Star Telegram, you did mention being a Texas high school football coach, the honor of your career. And just to make sure everyone knows what a big statement that is, I mean, you coached at TCU, Minnesota, New Mexico, Texas A&M, Texas. Like, we can go down and down that list. But you say being a Texas high school football coach is the honor of your career. Why is that?
Well, that's all I ever wanted to do. When I think I told the players this morning, I've told them before, when I was coming out of high school and going into college, I knew I wanted to go into coaching, and I wanted to be my high school coach. That's who I wanted to be. That's the kind of impact that he had on me and everybody on the football team. And I really thought that's what I was going to do. I thought I was going to take the high school or the middle school path and work my way up in high school. And And through a strange twist of fate, and these kids have heard the story, at 23 years old, I landed the quarterback job at TCU in the old Southwest Conference. And so high school seemed like something that was never going to happen. And I did have 2 years right after we got let go at A&M. I had 2 years at A&M Consolidated High School. But that was back in 08 and 09, so that was a while. So the Grapevine experience will be by far and away the high school experience that I treasure the most.
And you made it clear, too, that you wanted to stay and be a part of this community once the retirement happens.
Yeah, I did. I made it clear when the job opened that I wanted to stay, knowing, what was ahead and knowing what could be. And Jeff Hyde is here, and Jeff Hyde made the exact same decision. He wanted to stay at Grapevine with these kids, and I don't care what, the record was this year. There are absolutely no regrets whatsoever. In fact, I think God was telling me, I'm going to show you this year exactly why you got into coaching. And it wasn't for the wins and the losses, but the relationships and the chance to mentor kids. And I will say this. I'll apologize for getting emotional, but I'm not going to apologize for getting emotional. I'll say this. Today has been a gratifying day and in some ways a validating day because of the number of texts and calls and DMs that I've gotten from former players. Makes it all worthwhile.
I know we've done like 15 pause breaks to clap, but I think we need to do one more time here for Coach DeBesse. We are going to take some time, and we'll talk more about your incredible career as the night goes on. But I do want to talk a little bit about this team, Team
Yes.
105, that finished up on Friday. Boy, I know that the final score in this season overall, not exactly what we wanted, but I thought the physicality of the guys on Friday was evident from the start, and I thought that they really made Grapevine proud on Friday.
Well, in my opinion, they made Grapevine proud all year long, and I'm glad that you said let's talk about the kids because it is about the kids and certainly not about what they decided today. And, to me, Friday night was just like every other night that we competed this season. Fought our tails off with a great attitude, great sideline, great support of each other, fought until the end, played a really, really good football team. I think Heritage is a good football team. I think they're on a roll right now, and they got after us at the end. I mean, the Brady's screen to open things up for us, that was about as exciting a moment to me as we had all year long, just because of the importance of the game, everything that was on the line, the great crowd. So there's some great memories that our guys will take from not just Friday night, but from this year, and they should. And I told them after the game, we're not going to talk about what just happened. We're gonna take time to celebrate you guys. We're gonna take time to celebrate how you hung in there and how you stuck together and the perseverance that you showed, and it'll pay off down the road.
And I know you, as we were talking before, you mentioned that coaches have talked to you about just the way this team plays and how hard they play, and it's something that stands out to opposing coaches.
I've had coaches this year tell me, Coach, I know we got a better record than you do, but how do you get your kids to play so hard? And I wish I could get my kids to play that hard. And I don't think there's a higher compliment that an opponent can pay a competitor. And so all the credit goes to the guys that are here and the guys that lined up with us all year.
Well, we'll definitely talk more about the game. We'll talk more about your career in a second, but I want to we're going to do things a little bit different. It's not the DNA awards, but we have 3 different seniors that are here that are going to just talk about their experience with Grapevine. Coach DeBesse is going to stay up here and give a little bit of an intro for these guys. But the first one I want to invite up here is Spencer Williams, an offensive lineman. Let's give Spencer a hand as he makes his way to the stage.
I asked Spencer to be here because I remember Spencer back in the summer of 2021, my first summer here. And you said, you're the star. And honestly, I wasn't. There were some workouts during the summer that I wasn't sure Spencer was going to make it through. Okay, I wasn't quite sure he was going to make it. I worried about Spencer. He was always last, in everything that we every race that we ran, the whole deal. But he never, ever quit. Fast forward to 2 summers ago, summer of 2023, when Performance Course did our summer conditioning, and they awarded Spencer the athlete of the summer for Grapevine High School. So here's a guy that 2 years before that, I wasn't sure if he was going to finish or not, and then he's awarded the top guy. And made the varsity as a senior, started as a senior, and so this is truly a self-made man right here. So Spencer Williams.
Thank you, Coach.
Well, Spencer, let's talk just about your journey. As Coach DeBesse said, from those early workouts and maybe not sure if you're going to make it to starting on that line as a senior. What do you have to say just about your journey through this program?
Yeah, I've always been a big kid. I'm not the skinniest of people out there, not the fastest, but I like to think I could, beat some of the receivers nowadays. Yeah, I wanted to put work in and give these coaches the best I could all my 4 years that I played for them, and because they deserve it. They worked their tails off to get to where they are, and I wanted to work my tails off for them.
What does this coaching staff and these teammates mean to you as you look back at your time in the program?
I think I'm probably one of the luckiest football players in Texas. Our whole team is. I got a great coach. We all got a great coaching staff. We got a great head coach last 2 years. I don't think I could have asked for a better head coach to end it with. And Coach Hyde's here. I don't know where he's at over there. I don't think I could have asked for a better O-line coach the past 4 years either. But, it's sad the way it ended, but I'm happy it ended in the way with these guys and with all my teammates.
So looking back on your time then, what's that proudest moment of maybe your career on the field that jumps out to you?
Probably the first touchdown we scored this year. I think the first touchdown we scored this year against Wakeland, and it was like we all got excited, we all celebrated, we all had a Mudita moment, as Coach DeBesse would say, and I think. Once again, the game didn't end the way we wanted it to, but it showed us that we could produce as an offense and as a team, and the defense could produce as a defense, and that we could it would come together. Yeah.
Well, and finally, Team 105 comes to an end, and you think about all of the seniors that you're walking out with. What does that group of guys mean to you?
Best group of guys I could ask to play football with. I think offensive line-wise, we're a unit, and I couldn't ask for a better guy to play next to, and another guy. I got to protect one of the best quarterbacks that I've ever played with, probably, and I blocked for a running back. That's a great running back, Julian, and all the other ones, and I couldn't ask for a better football team, better group of seniors.
Let's give it up for Spencer Williams, everybody. Outstanding stuff. Our next senior, we're going to bring up Thomas Powers.
I wanted Thomas to come up and talk. Thomas is a 2-year varsity letter winner, also plays baseball. But Thomas is incredibly involved at Grapevine High School. Student council, any leadership program that is available, Thomas is involved in. There's not many things that happen at Grapevine High School that I don't get a text from him saying, Coach, I can't be at the meeting in the morning or in the afternoon because I'm helping to set up for whatever, okay? So here's a guy who, we have a lot of well-rounded guys, but Thomas is definitely one of the most well-rounded with everything he's involved in.
Thank you, Coach.
Let's give it up for Thomas. Yeah. Well, Thomas, I'll kind of lead the same way. Just want to open it up to your overall thoughts just about this program, and as you look back on it, what it just ultimately means to you.
I think it's definitely shaped who I am as a person. I know I came into high school a lot different than I am now. I think that the culture really speaks to that too. We've had some good teams ahead of us as a senior class, and the guys ahead of us really just instilled that hard work into us, and I feel like that kind of carried over.
Who has been? We can talk about the coaching staff. You can talk about family members, players, whatever. Who's been the biggest influence in your football life? We'll talk about the outside, but just in your football life, who has been that biggest influence for you?
I would honestly say probably Drew Nelson. Okay. He was a senior on Team 103. He was a DB with me and Boozer, and he still talks to us to this day. He was really just the closest thing I've had to a big brother. And so I just really looked up to him, and he's playing at Harding now, and he always, just grinded. So, is
that a role that you cherish this year as being maybe one of those guys for the underclassmen?
Yeah, I really tried to be, for some of my younger guys in my position group, kind of close to what he was to me, just because I know how much it meant to me that he was like that.
Your coach talked about how much you're involved in just everything all across school. How has football prepared you for what you're going to be doing off the field? How has that helped you just in every area of your life?
I think it's made me a lot better in social situations, because there's a lot of times in football where I will disagree with somebody, and you have to learn to work that out, because that's your teammate and that's your brother, and you're going to go to war with him the next day. So, I feel like that's really just prepared me for those situations in real life.
So Team 105 done. Team 106 coming up. What's the advice that you would give to those that are going to be a part of Team 106? Maybe something that you wanted to learn maybe early on in your football journey.
Just keep working. Don't take anything for granted, because when it's over, you're going to miss it. I don't remember who it was, but my sophomore year, one of the seniors said, the days are long, but the years are short. So just kind of remember that.
Thomas Powers, everybody. And then our final senior that we will bring up tonight is DJ Wright, who will make his way to the stage.
DJ Wright. DJ Wright's another one of those guys that worked his way up to being on the varsity as a senior. Come on in here, DJ. Had some big moments on the JV. We weren't quite sure about DJ when we first got here, if he was ever going to have a role. Not because he wasn't trying, not because he wasn't a fantastic young man. He just couldn't quite find that place for him. And all of a sudden we put him at tight end, and he started to blossom a little bit. And then with Ian Hatton not being able to start the season with us, DJ got pushed into the limelight as the starter. We have our leadership council, and this guy is kind of a behind-the-scenes guy. He's not the most vocal guy. But he has a steady, positive influence on everybody that he comes in contact with. And I've got a lot of admiration for him. So, Mr. DJ Wright.
All right, well, DJ, you hear those words that your coach said to you. Kind of, I guess, say them back to him. What does this program mean to you?
Yeah, it means a lot to me. Coming in as a freshman, I didn't play football 8th grade year, and so I was kind of unsure about it. But freshman year, no, it really was that sophomore year, because I'll be honest, after freshman year, I was questioning if I wanted to play football or not. But I think the main thing that made me stuck with it was these guys right here. I remember Julian, he told me that offseason, he was like, DJ, stay with it. We need you. And that really stuck with me. So I think it's just the brotherhood that really made me stay.
How different do you think things might have been if you hadn't stuck with it? And then how important are the brothers, guys like Julian, able to give you that advice?
It would have been hard sometimes, because I've been through some stuff in the past, and these guys helped me get through it. And so without them, I don't think I'll be here today.
Football is often a metaphor, for life. So how do you feel like that has prepared you for what's coming after you get done with high school?
Yeah, it's definitely taught me to never give up, to keep going, because things are going to get hard in life. And if you keep persevering and think on the positive side, you'll get through it.
And then as you look ahead to that senior class for next year, that Team 106, what would you tell them just about making sure they enjoy that process in that final year?
I would say enjoy the grind. Take advantage of the opportunities you have while being able to play football.
Let's give it up for DJ Wright, everybody, as well as the rest of our seniors.
Okay, so here we go. This is the play that I was describing earlier. This is our first offensive series. Actually, a third down call right here. Great call by Coach Hyde right here. This is what we call Z tunnel. This is Brady Boozer at Z. That's Ian Hatton and Tayden Sneed going out there leading the way right there to begin with. That's Ian knocking the dog out of that corner right there. Brady jumps inside. And again, as I've said before, it's amazing how fast you can run when you're scared. But, I mean, son of a gun's running fast now. Navarro's fired up when they saw that. 7 almost gets him, but not quite. So what an unbelievable start. What an unbelievable moment. Great celebration on the sideline. All right, so I'll show this from the end zone just because it's fun to watch from the end zone here. Good job by Jalen getting the ball out, giving him a catchable ball. Off we go. All right, we're going to move to the next one. All right, let's see what we got here. Any suggestions? Huh? All right. Let's see if we can go back. At least get a shot here. All right. Run play for not very much. Okay. I think we're going to see Cooper set the edge right here. We're going to see Gormley from the inside again. We're going to see Carlos coming from the – so that's just good. That's good team defense right there. This is their first drive, okay, first drive of the game. So they did go down and answer, right? They answered our touchdown. This is actually it right here. I thought their quarterback was – I thought their quarterback was good. I thought our quarterback was good. I thought we had a little bit of a difficult time up front, getting off of blocks, and he did a really good job of running with the football. And he was a big son of a gun too. So that was their initial touchdown. Okay, here's just another example of him. I mean, we kind of lose contain a little bit, right? We bring pressure this time off the edge. We kind of lose contain a little bit. Bring our outside backer through the B gap right here, and he makes us pay. So he was a good athlete. He's a young kid. I think he's got a pretty good future over there. But we did a decent job of containing him, especially in the second half. The first half he got away from us a little bit. Here's Julian on just a true inside zone. I was glad to see Julian get going again. He'd had a couple of weeks where I thought we didn't have the production that we had been used to, not any fault of his own, but this is the Julian that we saw all year long right here. Boom, just being reckless, knocking the dog out of that guy right there. And making 3, 4, 5 guys tackling him. So that's a great effort by a guy who's given us great effort all year long. And again, I'm going to say this and not to embarrass him, but you talk about a young man who from his freshman year to his senior year came light years from a maturity standpoint and emotional standpoint. He went from being kind of an I guy, kind of a selfish guy, to one of the best team players that we had. And I'm really, really, really proud of him for that. Sack, okay, so we got a sack here on 3rd and 5, okay. This is Luke Gormley on his own, destroying the running back and actually pushing the running back and into the quarterback and getting the sack by himself. Luke had a tremendous year, in my opinion, as a junior. I've said it before. I think he's I think he's a college football prospect. I think he's going to have a great senior season, and if he has the same amount of growth and improvement that he did between his sophomore and junior year, he's going to have an awfully fun senior year. Finally got a reverse to go. This is Luke Stewart. Okay, Luke's got another year. Okay, I think Cale, if I'm not mistaken, I think Cale Thompson is the only receiver we have. Obviously Brady played receiver for us, but the only full-time receiver that's not coming back for Grapevine. But this is Luke Stewart. This is Ian Hatton out front blocking. Good job downfield. That's you, Cale. Okay, good job downfield by the Cousins right there, blocking for Luke. Okay, so good to see a reverse. Good to see a reverse go. And now we got another inside zone with Julian. You know, Colleyville returned 9 of 11 starters on defense. And you figure it's the 10th game of the season. Everybody's a veteran by then. I thought our offensive line did a really good job of controlling them at times. Ian did a good job blocking on the inside zone. And then, like I said, Julian had a Julian Contreras type game that we had seen the vast majority of the season. Really good coverage right here. Let me get to the end zone. Okay, really good coverage right here. Our coverage teams and our return teams improved dramatically the last 2 years. This is Brady Boozer right here. And the reason that I point this out is here's a guy that's playing on both sides of the ball in his last high school football game, and a starter on a coverage team, beating everybody down the field and giving great effort. And he's just an example of the great kids that we had this year. I told our coaches at one point, I think it's when we were 0-8, I told them, you know, we're not the only team in Texas. We're not the only staff in Texas that's dealing with this. I said, but count your blessings, because we could be coaching a bunch of bad dudes. You know, we could be coaching a bunch of kids who aren't fun to be around and aren't respectful. We can count on less than one hand the number of kids that we have issues with. So credit to the parents and credit to the young men. I believe this is Judah, guys. Am I right about this? I believe this is Judah. Okay, so Judah Johnson is a junior. Okay, so he's got another year. We played him at corner this game because we had some issues with our corners, and so we played a little bit different structure of defense. And this is Judah coming up and delivering a big hit on a screenplay that's hurt us, you know, in the past, and because we haven't played as physical at the corner spot as we needed to. So really a good job by him. And again, he's got another year left, so he'll have a big senior year. Let's see. This is that Coop coming off the edge. Yeah, this is Coop coming off the edge. Tatum down here setting the edge. Okay, so if you look at Tatum Evans right there at the right end, okay, right inside of Cooper right there. They'd like to get that ball outside. Cooper's not letting them get outside. Tatum's not allowing any kind of gash in there either because he's playing gap integrity football right there, okay? And there's Michael Utorka being physical from up there at the top. Cedric Hicks, also a sophomore, getting in on the tackle right there. So, again, good team defense, but really reckless defense too. A lot of those guys I just mentioned, most of those guys actually, if not all of them, that I just mentioned are coming back. So what I've done here is, you know, those were kind of the ones I picked out for the Colleyville game. And if you don't mind, what we're going to do is we're going to go back and we're going to look at a few of the highlights from the year, okay, and just celebrate the kids. I did this, the kids did this on Thursday afternoon. I put together a compilation of about 35 clips from the year to remind them of how many good things they had done and what they were capable of doing. This is Luke Heck, if you remember. After we had been stopped and denied a touchdown, we come back the very next play on defense and intercept the ball and run it in for a score, okay? This is Ian and Jalen hooking up on a huge pass play against Mansfield Timberview, okay? If you remember, this is Jalen doing a great job of keeping his eyes downfield, stepping up, and finding Ian down the sideline. And Ian weaving his way through. And so I'm showing this because I want to remind you of how many great moments these kids produced and exactly what they were capable of and how much they achieved. Here's Julian early on. I remember showing this, saying he's tackled right there. I remember watching the game when it was live, thinking he's tackled right there, and then somehow, some way, he comes busting out of it and ends up scoring on a big 31-yard run. Okay, here's our defense again against Arlington Seguin, who is a playoff team. Okay, and if I'm not mistaken, this was when Tatum Evans was playing linebacker. Bradley was healthy. We had a healthy defensive line, and Tatum was playing linebacker right here, and there he is, not allowing the back to even get to the line of scrimmage right there. Arlington Seguin is playing Lovejoy, I think, in the first round of the playoffs. So be interesting to see how they do. Okay, biggest play of the year, most explosive play of the year. Okay, most explosive play of the year. How he gets out of it again, I'm not quite sure. He actually gets slingshotted up the field right there. Got a little burst right there. Brady, we could say the same thing about Julian, right? Amazing how fast you can run. Okay. But anyway, huge run, huge play, getting us out of a hole, and eventually led to a touchdown right here. And this is what it's all about. The guys on the sideline down there chasing him, celebrating, everybody down here celebrating. That's what it's all about. And obviously that's one of the things that I'll miss about coaching. Okay, this is a speed option. Okay, just a really, really good option play right here. All right, forget about the option. Let's go to Cooper, okay? So similar to what we just saw Tatum do, there's Cooper shooting the gap. So once again, Cooper started the year at outside linebacker, ended up playing a lot of the year at inside linebacker because of injuries. So once again, that speaks to the unselfishness of the kids. Not always what they wanted to do, not always where they felt the most comfortable, but never questioned any decisions that were made and just executed to the best of their ability. Big play right here against Birdville. Birdville seems like it was 2 years ago. But big play against Birdville right here on what we call mesh. And they lose Julian, turn him loose. Turf. You can see the turf monster gets Julian right there just a little bit. Okay, right there gets him a little bit. But he recovers for another huge, huge gain. Okay, so another explosive play by Jalen and by Julian. You can't forget about special teams. We've already seen a coverage play. That's right. We don't have end zone. This was huge, right? This was really, really big, going against Burleson in a tight game, and you can see the effort on our part inside compared to the effort on their part. And I told you guys during the season that something in coaching that you learn is you watch how hard a team tries to block extra points and field goals, and that's how you determine their character. And that says a lot about our character right there, and they did that all year long. Luke Stewart again, Jalen Holmes again, okay, off of play action, single coverage out there, safeties bite on the run. Good job by our line protecting and selling the run. That's probably the best pass of the year. I guess it might be. Certainly one of the best passes of the year as far as accuracy is concerned. So big explosive play there for the Mustangs, Jalen and Luke. Okay, this is Linnell Randolph, another junior, okay, kid that's going to be back. Again, I think he was the DNA Player of the Week this game. And I think I made the comment that he played the way I think a corner should look. He looked like a corner in this game. Didn't always look like a corner this year, but in this particular game he did. He showed enough flashes to be really excited, that you can be really excited about Linnell Randolph next year. And I think he'll be in the return game. I think you'll see a lot more of him as far as his role is concerned. All right, third and one, okay? This was Bradley Stanier's big. This is as dominating a game as any defensive lineman has had that I've ever seen. I can't even remember what the stats were. It was unbelievable stats. But he just bench presses the center into the running back right there on 3rd and 1. And he's getting a lot of help as far as penetration is concerned. So a great job of our guys being ready for the moment and being the physical team there. This is against Timberview, I believe. 2nd and 10, nowhere to go, so a great job by our guys up front. You can see Brady coming down from his safety spot and the bottom hash right here. He's going to find the ball carrier, okay? Is Brady or Coop? Yeah, it's Brady. Okay, he's going to find the ball carrier, and we're going to end up getting a strip right there, okay? Big fumble recovery right there for us. That's textbook. That's what defenses work on all the time is the strip, okay, as you're tackling them to try to rip the ball out, and it worked. It worked perfectly on that particular play. So big takeaway there, okay? And again, way early on against Birdville, but this is about as pretty as it gets as far as the option goes. Okay, you got DJ Wright, the guy that was just up here at the tight end spot leading the way, okay, creating the gash right there. And there you got Julian trying to take it to the house, barely getting caught by his shoestrings. But another explosive play, a big 53-yard run. I think that was the 3rd longest play. So there were your Mustangs for the year. Janet, would you come up here, please? This is our special guest. So I said, what's that? I'm going to cry. I already have. So I said early in the year that if it wasn't for 40 years with this lady, there would never have been 42 years of coaching. And she is absolutely the true MVP. We've moved 9 times. I've never been a part of any move. She's done every one of them. What happens, like in college, what happens is you get a job, you accept a job on the phone one night, the next morning you're gone. I mean, you're gone. And so she was left behind for basically all the moves to take care of everything, take care of the kids, find a new house, all that kind of stuff. And so, you know, any man, any husband will tell you that they have no chance for success unless they have a great wife that supports them. And she's been the best. So, thank you. Thank you all very much. Thanks for being here tonight, and thank you for everything over the last 4 years, not just the last 2 years, but I've been here 4 years, but especially the last 2 years as head coach. You know, words really can't describe, they aren't worthy of just how much the Grapevine community has meant to us. We live here, we love it here, we're staying here. Hope to be on Main Street a lot more than we've been the last four years. But just like any other place, it's only as special as the people, and the people of Grapevine are the best. I mean, absolutely the best. It's the greatest decision we ever made was to come here and stay here. So thank y'all. We're not going anywhere. and I'll still be in the office until the end of this semester, so please come by and say hello. I probably won't have as much to do as I've had in the past, so come see us, all right? But love you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you so much all year long. Thank you, Harvest Hall, and we'll see you next year, Team 106. Go Mustangs. Thank you.